Get ready to learn a lot about guitar tone and guitar playing and have a lot of fun at the same time. One of the funnest interviews I've ever done, maybe the funnest. We're going to talk to Phil X, but first I want you to hear him play for 1 minute. He just sits down, and this is what he does when he sits down, or stands up, or travels the world. Go see him with Bon Jovi or with his band The Drills. Check out their new record, Pow Right in the Kisser. There's a link below. And we're also going to show you this baby, which is his really cool new pedal. Anyway, check this out. Have a great time. I certainly did. And yeah, Phil X.
Is that enough or you want more?
More.
I describe the P90 as angry. It's the angst that I really like about it. But when you got it on 10, you get that anger, and when you dial it back a little bit to like 7 on your guitar volume, and you get, a Telly-ish kind of tone, and then when you turn it down even more to 3 or 4, you get like a glassy, clean sound. And that's what leads people to come up to me when I only have one amp on stage, and they go, "What's your clean sound?" And I'm like, just turn down.
Absolutely. Sometimes I've forgotten that. And really, that's how I used to be when I was a kid. I would turn it down to 2 for the clean parts, up to 5 for the rhythm parts, and then up to 10 for the solo parts.
See? And there are people that do that now. So at 7 is going to be my rhythm tone, and I dial in the amp and have my overdrive going. And then, now I can go to the lead. But the problem with that is that once you get up there, you don't want to go back down.
I've done that before too, where I just leave the boost pedal on.
Oh man,
going, I like this.
Yeah, let's leave
I'll
it here.
Keep this.
And that's what happened when I do backline stuff. If I can't take my Friedman, I had Dave put a second master in my Friedman X signature amp, so I could boost my own solos.
Great.
Or even a pick slide if I want.
Yeah.
Because that sound guy's not going to do that. And then, but if I'm doing a fly data and there isn't a Friedman available, I'll get 2 amps, and the second amp is blended with the first amp to give me that boost I need for the leads. But again, about halfway through the show, man, that sounds too good to turn it off.
So another thing that I've seen you talk about is taking a risk and then recovering, doing something dangerous and then recovering from it. I sort of talk about the same thing because that's my favorite kind of guitar playing, where you do a burst of something that you don't know if you're going to crash and burn, but you always find a way to recover, right? That's the excitement of it, right?
The excitement that I employ, make it look good, man. Sometimes you can't recover with your fingers, so there's a hair flip or
I've never heard one of these crash and burn things. Maybe I got to watch more videos. You always seem to recover.
You know what? I feel like you're right. When it comes to the playing, it's prime recovery is in the hands. But if you're really burning, then it's make it look good. Like,
I always smile when I make a mistake.
I think
one of my tricks.
See, and you got it down, man. It's not a science.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And a lot of people talk about, like jazz musicians have that. If you hit a bad note, if you hit it again, then it sounds like a hook or a part. A lot of the young players, and I instill this when I do a Masterclass or a clinic, what do you do when you make a mistake? And the thing is, man, do not let it stay in here.
Yeah.
Because then it's followed by more mistakes. Even when I stepped on stage with a band like Bon Jovi in front of 50,000 people, I had the confidence to say, hey man, you've been doing this your whole life, get out there and be a rock star. And that was it, and that did it. As soon as I would have made one mistake, if I would have got up here, then they would have sent me home, because it would have been a train wreck. Like, I could be doing my own thing, and even with the drills, and I've stopped the band. Like, the solo in I Wish My Beer Was As Cold As Your Heart is so important to me that I've stopped the band if I didn't nail it.
Is that something you could play
Yes,
now?
it's like that. It's that whole
Oh, yeah.
dissonant thing. It's it's
I
that.
love
And
that.
it's a little faster. And if the drummer's doing it too fast, I don't want to say, it's your fault. Be a man. Own it. But I've stopped the band and I go, hold it, hold it, hold it. I got to try that again. And what I'm doing right before is singing. So I'm like, on the record, it's like, wait. So there's this kind of thing going on. Now I'm singing. I wish my beer was as cold as your heart. Suck it. And do it like that. So I gotta go, cut, that wasn't good enough.
If I was watching you with 500 people or 5,000 people and you did that, I'd be like, I love this guy.
We rehearsed with Bon Jovi the other day, last week in Florida, actually. We do like 3 days of rehearsal, and on the third day they have like friends come by and stuff like that, so it feels more like a show, which is kind of cool. And then we were doing this one new song. I got to show you the bouzouki tuning. We were doing this one new song called Living Proof, and I broke the A string, and the song's in A, but I broke the A string, and it was the coil was still stuck on the bridge, so you got to go like that, and then it's hanging, and I finished the song, and the end solo and everything with the string hanging, and that's all everybody talked about. And even if it would have been the show, I would have known in my head, if it was like 20,000, 80,000 people, I would have known in my head, I can finish this. We're good.
Yeah.
And because I had to morph the last chorus, the chords, because I didn't have the string that I really needed. And okay, that's working and that's working, and I'm singing my part, and then I go into the end. And to me, I think that's how rock and roll is, man. It's got the recklessness of it. We drop names all the time, and sometimes it's comfortable things, and sometimes it's not. But I've had people that I grew up listening to comment on my recklessness. They're like, you know what I like about you, man? You're reckless. It's like every time you go for a solo, a hurricane comes on the stage. And I'm like, that's, it's flattering to hear it from someone you grew up listening to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have that energy because of other guitar players. For instance, Edward Van Halen, fire and joy. And to me, that's what it is. The fire was always evident, and the joy. When you see him on stage and he's looking at the camera, and he's got that boyish smile on his face that's basically saying, I get to do this.
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah, and a lot of rock stars, a lot of rock musicians, great ones too, would brood kind of while they played, and he was the opposite. He was the anti that.
Exactly.
He was smiling.
And that, I can't help it, And then I get that from John. Like, he went on the road, the last tour that we did, when he introduced the band, he would introduce me as the professor of positivity. Even when we're rehearsing now, I'll take a solo, and then I look up, and he's looking at me like an audience member, spreading the love.
Yeah.
And then he shakes his head and goes back to singing, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this is what's happening over here.
Guys, if you want to support this channel, click the link below and get the 30 free guitar lessons. You also get some very cool jam tracks. Well, you have developed a style over the last 20 years, and since I've known you that long, I've seen it happen, and it is yours, and that's part of it, definitely.
Thanks, man. But I feel like, and it coming from you, it's amazing, so thank you. There are things that help you grow. If it's not someone's playing, it's something that you received in a different manner from someone else. For instance, my brother, when I was growing up, he never gave me the satisfaction of a compliment, because everybody else did. Man, all his friends are telling him, my sisters, my parents, everybody's telling him how good he is. So I'd be done a show, I'd go, Jimmy, what'd you think? And he'd be like, yeah, it was all right. I'm like, what? But then I'd go
Sounds
home.
like my dad.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'd go home and woodshed. Fuck you. I'd be like doing this. And then the next show, hey, how was that? I seen you do better. I'd go and woodshed. And that was part of my growth.
Yes.
But you know what it takes? If you're somebody that you're close to, and this is where you're tied in because you did the solo for Runaway.
Right.
So in 2013, when we started playing Runaway, I was filling in for Richie. Nobody knew if he was coming back, and I had Takumi. Takumi was my tech, and Takumi was the most honest tech on the planet. When I learned Runaway, I thought, okay, I've been learning so many songs, I got to put the solo on hold. All these songs, I'm going to get through the song so we can get through the show. And then as I have like time to implement the solo, I'll bring the solo into it. So there was one night that I played a solo to Runaway. And it was just kind of like fishing, you know? And Takumi came up to change guitars and he goes, hey, great solo. I'm like, oh man, good, thanks, awesome. And then the next night, I would be fishing again and he'd come to change guitars and he'd go, what the fuck, dude? You know? It was kind of like that. But the honesty helped me.
Yeah.
It made me want to, okay, I got to do better. I got to do better.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing that can happen. Again, not in somebody else's playing inspiring you, but somebody else's attitude towards what you've done. And then when I finally learned the solo, it was like, wow, man, Tim did this in 1982, 83.
Yep.
And
Yep. 82.
there are things in that solo that nobody else was doing. So it made me, I've always respected you, but it made me respect you even more. I just thought, this is, like, it says so much.
Yeah, I was a lucky man. Play through it a little bit. That's all I need.
This is the overdrive section. So this, if I turn it off.
So that's just the amp.
That's just the end. And you can see the gain is not, I have it a little hotter because the amp is so clean. So you got that, and then the EQ I really like in this pedal. And I have the volume, it's pretty maxed out.
Well, and I heard the story about how they sent you two versions and you liked both of them.
Yes.
And is that what this is? Is this two sides?
It's
basically?
two sides, yes. And you can control the order with the pre or post switch. So the drive, the boost. A lot of people use the boost as a clean amp, kind of like it gives it a little more sparkle. What I like really too is if I put both on, you get the little, it's easier to play obviously, but if I turn that all the way down like that, the tilt EQ,
Yeah.
you get all that kind of stuff with both of them on.
It still sounds like the amp. That's the thing I like about it. It still sounds like the amp.
So, and I got the gain going pretty high there,
Yeah,
but it's
very
like
good.
it still speaks. Like even when I do like the dissonant thing, you still hear.
Yeah, you hear the notes.
It doesn't get all flooded with mud,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the guitar for a second. This is coming out soon?
I can't give you a date.
That's all right.
This is
I can wait.
We call it TV Gold because you can see the green of the
Which
mahogany.
I love, yeah.
And then I've always loved dog ears. I feel like they have more mojo than the Soap Bar P90s. And these are actual Jim DeCola special design. So we've been going back and forth with the windings, and I'm an Alnico 8 guy.
Okay.
I love humbuckers that are Alnico 8, and I asked him, what would the P90 be like with an Alnico 8? And he goes, I don't know, man, but we can try it out. And then we went in, and he gave me like, there's 3 guitars, different magnets. I'm not telling you it's a blind taste test, Pepsi thing. So I'm not gonna tell you which is which. I just want you to play it into this amp and tell me which one you like the most. And it literally went like, oh, that's cool. Oh man, that's really cool. Holy, that's amazing. It literally went like that. And I go, you gotta tell me, Matt, it's gotta be the Alnico 8 that I like a lot. He goes, actually, that was the runner-up. I go, what are you talking about? And the pickup that I really like was neodymium.
Oh, right.
Which I didn't even know they were making pickups with that stuff.
Yeah.
So I knew they do speakers.
Yeah.
But not pickups. So I was blown away by something I had no idea about, which I thought was really cool. So we've been going back and forth and with different power and output, and he sent one that was higher output, and I didn't like it. So I think this is number 2 of the 3 that we tried, and I don't know when it's coming out. I'm hoping either later this year, early 2026.
That's pretty soon.
This the body is an 1/8 inch thicker than a regular SG. I'm a bigger guy, so I kind of like the weight of it. And this is the 57 gold top profile.
I notice you have the truss rod cover off. I do that with a lot of my guitars because I'm constantly adjusting the truss rod.
You know what it is? If you're on a session, you go from E flat to E.
Right.
You have to adjust
Make
the
that
truss
adjustment,
rod.
yeah.
And sometimes, and I don't know how people don't get it. You go into a studio and you're playing, and you're under an air conditioner vent. Yep. Oh, the air kicked in. I'm sharp. You know, I like a little bit of bow, but not as much. I learned that sometimes the intonation on the cowboy chords is better if it's not so bowy. But I like a little fight.
Yeah.
I don't like low action. I like it. I feel like if it's too easy to speak, then it's run-on sentences.
Yeah, and the tone can be more substantial if the action's up a little bit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and the fatter neck too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at the back here, so in the new modern SGs, the heel is not so meaty at this point here. And I had a 67 where it came out to about the 14th fret, and the tone down here was fantastic with all that meat behind the fretboard. And I was like, okay, that's way too much because, I got 24 frets, which a lot of people did you have to move the pickup? But you don't. If you look at an SG that only has 22 frets, there's a piece of plastic there.
You're right.
So I replaced the piece of plastic with 2 frets.
Fantastic.
And I like the 2 frets. The thing is we somewhere between the modern heel and the 67 heel, we found the magic spot. And everything sounds really meaty down here, and I think that's so important.
Name a few of the drummers on this record.
Okay, so the whole drummer thing is amazing because most of the drummers I've played on other artists' records with. Like Kenny Aronoff, I can't even count how many records I've played on with him. We had, on the opening track is Ray Luzier from Korn, and he came over, we were at Studio 606, and he came in, and we had this song called Don't Wake Up Dead.
Yep.
And it's the one run through of that song, I was like, man, this is opening the record.
Yeah.
And that was the instinct, and it happened. And we played together, and the guitar that you hear on the left is the guitar that I recorded with Ray, right on the floor, with Dan on bass. And then when I got home, I put on the other side. I wanted it to be a stereo image, obviously. But instead of playing rhythm for the solo, I doubled the solo.
Oh, I love that. I heard it this morning. What does that remind me of? Black Sabbath? I don't know. It's crazy. It sounds evil.
It's evil, right?
It sounds ghostly.
It's exactly. And the funny thing is I feel like when I was mixing it, I wasn't happy with the sound that I got. This is years later.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with the sound that I got on the right because the sound on the left sounded so powerful. So then I redid the right, still doubling the solo, but it took me a minute because, you know, I feel like when you play from the heart, and that solo came from the heart, when you play from the heart, you're almost a different player every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't match the timing, sometimes you can't match the vibrato. So, and I didn't want it to be pieced together, like, oh, I'll do like 5 takes and comp it. No, I got to do it all. So I ended up doing it, making it through the song and doubling the solo, and that's what you hear. Don't Wake Up Dead is a perfect drill song because it's one, like, obviously it's a guitar performance and a double of that performance, but it's one guitar, drums, bass, and me screaming these lyrics that
Kind of
are on the top of
subversive
my
lyrics
head.
too. Something like evolution, revolution.
Yeah, it's
Pretty great.
a broken revolution.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you know, I feel like the theme of the song for me is, you know, if you don't wake up ready to conquer the day, ready to like take on whatever's happening and ready to just kill it and just look at the day like this is going to be a great day. If you don't wake up like that, you're kind of waking up dead. It's kind of like a disservice to your soul. Every song has its story. You know, the Tommy Lee thing with the tempo, but you know, that song is called Fake Day Away, which is something I couldn't do. I woke up, you know, the lyric is I woke up to the captain's voice in a pimped up flying machine. So I was literally on a jet on a Bon Jovi tour. And I woke up and I was just, man, there's a show tonight. I should be excited. I just miss my family. I miss my wife. I miss my kids. And that's what was in my head at that moment. So that's where that song came from.
I love Heel too because it reminds me. It's a little bit '70s to me and
I
touches me.
love 70s rock,
Yeah.
man. I had an AM radio in the 70s. 10cc and Al Stewart and all those amazing songs that we were listening to on AM radio. And I think it helped me as a session guitar player, just being a songwriter and appreciating good songs and knowing what you need to do under the vocal. Liberty DeVito, we met on the Hired Gun documentary. We were shooting at East West.
Yeah.
And then I saw him get behind the drum kit, and I'm like, wow, this guy's like 70, and he's like, he plays like a kid, and the energy is amazing. And then I asked him, hey, I said, I'm going to be in New York. Would you come to the power station and play drums on a track? And he was like, of course. And it was sandwiched between 2 sold-out gigs at Madison Square Garden. On the road, you kind of like, sometimes you don't stop to smell the roses because you're so, okay, you're in show mode. And then it was Obie O'Brien, who's our broadcast engineer, who I asked to come to Power Station and record the drums. And so we had lunch, and then Liberty took the train home to Brooklyn, and me and Obie are walking back to MSG for sound check for night 2. And he goes, are you absorbing this? And I'm like, absorbing what, dude? Hold on. Oh, yeah, Lindy's going to take the train to the gig. Okay, bye. Like, my wife was in town, and they asked me what time she wanted the car. And she loved taking the train to Madison Square Garden from the hotel. So I'm like, you know, I'm handling this and juggling stuff. And he goes, dude, you need to absorb what you're doing right now. You literally are doing 2 sold-out nights with a mega band at Madison Square Garden, and you just recorded Liberty DeVito on your song at the Power Station. It made me like stop walking, and he looked at he's like, I challenge any musician on the planet to have a better 2 days. And it hit me like, wow.
Well, and for you, it's all happening gradually and organically.
I was in my hotel room, and I recorded a guitar vocal, and I just sent it to him. And he came in, and we put the track that up so he could play to it to a click, and he was playing in double time. I'm like, whoa, it's halftime. So more like,
Yeah.
and I love this part. You know, we've all heard this chord progression before, but I wanted one note to ring through the entire progression, and it's in B minor, and the D string rings through the whole, like. It's kind of like that, and that's the verse, and then the chorus explodes into this heavier riff. But the whole point was he just switched gears like that. Obviously, a pro, right? Switched gears into halftime mode, and nailed it like the first take. And then we were like, okay, let's get one more as a safety or something.
Yeah, right.
And it was like amazing. Tico Torres, we were on tour in 2018, and we had a day off in Vegas. And I was like, hey, would you be into playing on a song? And he's like, of course. So he came in and he played on Find a Way. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when he played to that, it was just because I'll go into funky stuff at like Bon Jovi's sound check before John walks on stage, and then Tico's just kick in with me.
It's so fun to play.
And I'm like, man, he's got this Cuban funk thing going on. If I'm gonna do a song with him in the studio, it's gonna be like this. Yeah. And then there's a solo thing that I do in that song too, like that whole thing. But the solo is that. Kind of like that kind of thing.
I heard it this morning, and that those staccato lines, they're so tight and so short. It almost sounds like you're playing a grace note along with them, but you aren't.
I'm not. Kim Bullard, our friend.
Yeah, I heard his clav in there. Yeah,
he played clav on it, and we were on a session, and I sent him the song, and I said, hey, I want you to hear this funky thing, and he just threw clav on it and sent me the clav the next day. That's amazing. But he said, I think that's my favorite bit. That solo, that little chromatic staccato thing. But there's also like so much different things in it. Like I love why I love Ed Van Halen is his little nuanced going from one section to another section with licks and stuff like that, giving it a live feel. Yeah. So there was like that.
Believe me, I know that moment. I know that moment.
And then I had to change keys. So I was like, that's my fame thing. I think one of the best ABY boxes you can get is the Radial Twin Cities.
Okay.
It's like, because the switches work.
Yeah.
The phase switch works. If you're out of phase, you hit that and you're in, and you got a ground issue, hit that and it's gone. It's the one that really works, and I'll swear by it. So I had that in the studio, and then I used it would be like, and it's Dan's riff. He wrote that. And then that was just the Tone Master. And then when we went into the pre-chorus, I did a build with, I kicked in the Friedman. So it was like so that was the 2 amps going. And for me, that's what's exciting about guitars. Because I could have done eighth note bar chords through the whole thing, but you don't get that special dimension unless you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I like surprises. I like arpeggios and little licks that pop out, and to vary it and change it up, and that's what you do. It's good.
Yeah. I think it's an exciting thing. I know you get it. When I play it, I feel it, and when I hear it, I feel it. And it's just, oh, wow, what did he just do? And I love that about guitar.
Okay, so you're on a private jet playing Madison Square Garden with Bon Jovi, and then you come home, you take a day off, maybe, and then you do the drills. And you're back to kind of square one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, living on a budget.
Yeah.
Trying to break even out there, right?
Well,
it's probably the most satisfying thing in the world.
It really is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I talk about the two canvases all the time, and the supportive role and the me role. And we were lucky. Last year we got an offer. We opened for Motley Crue.
I remember.
At at the Illinois State Fair. And I was so tied up in my head about, can I do this? Can I front that opening from, you got 10,000 people in a small stadium that are just there to see Motley Crue, probably don't even know who I am. And then, the where I switch gears is if I get into my head about it, when I put the guitar on, if I have a guitar on and a microphone in my face, the mission is complete.
I get that.
I can get there.
Yeah.
And it was great. We had 10,000 people singing I Wish My Beer Was as Cold as Your Heart after
great.
a perfect solo.
Yeah. Yay!
I wanted it to sound like the drummer and their personality. And that's what really was important to me. And you know who's an amazing guy, an amazing friend, an amazing drummer? Gary Novak.
Yeah.
He was the first drummer that I saw recording, knowing it was the tape and how urgent it is, and you don't want to be the guy to fuck up. Gary took chances on fills because he just knew he'd land where he was supposed to. And that's what blew my mind about Gary. And I'll always, always remember that. We just talked a couple of weeks ago, and I go, man, I was just thinking about that record and how you just blew my mind with like being reckless. People talk to me about being reckless, and Gary could be reckless on the drums and just land on his foot every time. And that's what really impressed me. And getting him to play on a song was amazing. Like, I've been fortunate and blessed by all the drummers on this record. I appreciate each and every one.
Sounds phenomenal. It's a great concept, and I love the record. So.
Wait, maybe I should do a little, I was thinking about this earlier, maybe do a little bouzouki thing. Is that enough or you want more?
More. Hey guys, a lot of the time YouTube will bring you my videos even though you're not subscribed. If you get the chance, click this subscribe button and ring the bell.